Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kimberly Cox from Magical Mommy Spot, and today is an on the fly video. So, at the beginning of, the end of January, beginning of February, I had this idea that I was going to record all of my February videos that I could, that were not day in the lives or whatever. I was going to record them all at the beginning of the month, have them done, so all I had to do was, well, that didn't happen. And so, real life, I had thought over the weekend about trying to figure out a way to redeem myself, and it just wasn't happening. And I thought about it today, and I kind of know why. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer here. Move my little microphone a little bit closer here. And the reason that I feel like things have gotten to this place. I did 2 weeks and I was really good and I was proud of myself, and I'm like, okay, I'll just catch up on the other 2 weeks at the end of the time. And I feel like it takes away the excitement when I'm not recording every week. It takes away some of the attachment to the community and some of the attachment to actually what I'm doing. So we are back to the drawing board on how we're going to revamp things, which is fine. Today's Monday motivation, and that is one reason why I wanted to talk about that today, because as my hair is all over the place, because I literally got out of the shower and said, okay, I need to at least get this video up. I feel like there is a place where we all need that motivation, and especially when you're coming from a neurodivergent ADHD kind of mentality. You need, the whole interest-based nervous system. We need something novel, we need something fun, we need something that interests us to keep us going. And so if the fun part is already done and all I have left to do is the part I don't want to do, then I'm probably going to put off doing that which I don't want to do until the very end. And so as I started really looking into that and really I had this goal in mind of I'm going to set myself a deadline, and I'm going to say everything has to be done in these 5 days. And that way I'm doing the urgency thing, and I'm saying this is my thing that I need to have done because I want my channel to be ready and, have good content and whatever. But at the end of the day, I started to almost feel like the content was kind of, I don't want to use the word, I don't want to say it wasn't relevant, because it was relevant, but I wasn't, my passion wasn't in it because it was recorded ahead of time, and it wasn't me in the moment talking about something that mattered to me in the moment. And so I think that is the difference between someone who can plan content for a whole year in advance, because the stuff that they have to do, they have maybe a more importance-based nervous system, and they can say these are the priorities, and I need to get this done for this holiday and that done for that holiday, and these need to happen here, and we can put it like that and it works. But when you have an interest-based nervous system, you require the dopamine in a different way. And so the very first thing that I want to say is, do not try to put yourself in a box that you think you're supposed to be in because everybody else is doing it. Because this was just another way that I was trying to take who I really am and say, okay, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna push this into the box that everybody wants it to be in, and it's just not gonna happen. It might happen for a little while, but you're gonna eventually burn out, you're gonna lose your passion with things, and you're gonna end up giving up. So, how do we then, as neurodivergent creators and parents, homeschooling moms. How do we keep the passion and keep things exciting and, do the things that we need to do in a way that still works? And I think one of the best ways that I have found is to do enough research in what you need to do to where you find your slant and your groove and your take on what the idea is. So if it's like I did do the Valentine's Day stuff, that was a very simple, easy for me to do, like relationship stuff on that, because it's stuff that I'm interested in. I love psychology. I love, relationships and people and helping people with relationship stuff. I love that stuff. And so for me, it felt very interesting to kind of dig into it and think about it and think about all the lessons that I've learned and put those all down. But then as I started to get to the stuff that's harder, like relationships with friends and relationships with your kids, it gets more difficult, because those are the things that, while I'm not saying I haven't learned lessons in, they're things that I don't feel as confident in. And so I have to come from a different angle on those. And sometimes I let that little bit of, okay, I don't feel as confident in this as the other stuff, kind of tip me over that edge of, okay, then we're just not going to do it. Today's was supposed to be how you have a better relationship with your neurodivergent kids, or you as a neurodivergent parent and them as neurodivergent kids. It's difficult. And I think part of the reason why it was so difficult for me to sit down and film the video is because I'm still working on it. It's not in stone. We still have good days, we still have bad days. And yes, that's going to happen no matter what. But the idea of we still have good days, we still have bad days, and I still haven't found something that consistently works. I'm still working on that, trying to find that plane where we're kind of at an even keel. And I think sometimes we're close, but life always happens, and then it's like, how do you handle when life throws you a curveball? Life's going to throw you a curveball, and you're going to have to be kind of flexible and go with the flow, which is something that a lot of us don't like to do. We have a plan. We want to execute said plan because we created it, and there's a whole big deal with it. So that is one of the reasons why I had trouble doing it. And like I said, we have to find the angles on the things that we need to do that interest us and roll with those, and know that everything doesn't always have to be perfect or the way that somebody else wants it to be. I think that's one of the coolest things about homeschooling, is that I can teach in a way that is relevant to our family. I can say, okay, like, this is what the society, this is what the school system would want you to learn about this, but this is what's important. This is what I really want you to focus on. And that gets me excited. And it also gives the kids sort of I don't want to call it like they don't have to do the same thing. But let's face it, a lot of us are very hesitant and very defiant almost to people telling us what to do. If you're going to tell me what to do at the point that you say you should, I need you to, whatever, I'm not listening anymore. And so if we get that chance to be like, okay, this is what society wants us to learn, but this is really the underlying lesson, or these are the reasons why we need to learn this, and it's not because of this thing, but it's because of all of this, then you're creating this sort of rebel with a cause, is what I'm going to call it. Because there's a reason. You're not just saying we're not following the book because we're not following the book, or I'm going to teach you this way because, I don't like the way this is done. You're saying, like, this is not the important part. this is. There's a reason I want you to learn this. And it becomes more palatable, I guess. Like, we clean our houses. And those of us who have executive functioning issues, a lot of times don't clean our houses the way we should. But if somebody's going to come over, because we know we've got that dopamine coming with that fun thing that's going to happen, or maybe it's not quite a fun thing, but it's a thing where we want the good thing that's going to come from it. We want people to say, oh, your house is so pretty, or, at least not have the negative side of it. So we hurry up and do it. We get it done. We get through the monotony and the boringness. And, if we have to, we write it down and we time ourselves and we find ways to make it fun. We could do that every week. But there's no urgency. There's no challenge. There's no sense of fun or novelty in it. And so we have to really work through and find those spots where what we are trying to do is more of like, come at it from the fun angle, come at it from the novelty, find the challenge in the situation. And I think that that's your motivation for today. Find those things that you need to get done. Find those things that this week, like, I really need this done. I really need that done this week. And let's find ways to make them novel or put some urgency behind them or, some challenge to them. And let's see what we can get done this week. Because I feel like working with I don't know if I'd call them limitations, but working with the way our brain works is going to go a long way versus going with how everyone else thinks our brain should work. So that is your Monday motivation for today. I know it's all over the place, and you know what? ADHD here, and I'm not even going to try to deny that one. So I hope you guys have a wonderful start to your week. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.